I've personally helped mortgage loan officers generate millions in commission by leveraging the power of organic content. No ads, no cold calling, no bot or fake followers. Just a simple content system that brings in 5 to 7 inbound leads and quality connections every single day. My name is Amir Syed, and I funded over $1 billion in personal loan production. And now I have the great honor and privilege to show other loan officers how to do it as well in shortened period of time while also winning in their personal lives. You're gonna see why cold calling new realtors is keeping most loan officers stuck. You're also gonna see a 5-step content system that we use to get people reaching out to us instead of us reaching out to them, and the 3 types of mortgage content that's easy to post and is currently generating us quality leads and connections every single day. You're gonna wanna pay attention to all this to get paid. Most mortgage loan officers struggle to generate high quality leads and connections because of 2 major reasons. Number 1 is because you're relying 100% on traditional sales methods. Now look, I know making sales calls, attending in-person networking, having one-to-one lunch meetings are timeless sales practices that still work. But if that's all you're doing, you're not working smart. Number 2 is you're grinding through endless cold outreach. I won't say that cold outreach like cold calling doesn't work, because I've personally made over 50,000 of them in my career. But in this day and age, you're taking the hard route. You can enhance your cold calling success through some persuasion tactics I'm going to share with you today. So what's the solution? It's to take control of your own marketing by posting quality content on social media consistently. This allows you to stop relying on other people to grow your business, and you'll generate higher quality leads and connections from the people you already know and that respect you. You must understand that people this day and age trust personal brands way more than corporate brands. So the time is now for you to take advantage of this psychology, and it's never been easier. Now, before you tune me out because of all those fake limiting beliefs flying through your mind like, I'm terrible on camera, or I don't do social media, or social media doesn't work, I want to remind you that's exactly what some people said when newspaper advertising or radio commercials or TV commercials were introduced back in the day. Social media is super targeted, free, and it's taken over. I mean, you're watching this on social media right now. So I want to reassure you that it was uncomfortable for me at first. I mean, heck, me even recording this video right here, right now, is not super easy. But once you see the results and how it's an unbelievable arbitrage to your business, you'll wonder why you waited so long. And unfortunately, there is a lot of complicated and misleading information out there on what and how to make content. So with that being said, what's been some of the worst advice you've heard or seen when it comes to posting content online? I want you to drop it in the comments below, and let's read what other people have commented as well. Now, there might be a reason loan officers fail to generate high quality leads and connections through social media, even if they're creating content. I know a ton of them who try social media, post a few times, get some likes, and then walk away because it doesn't work. However, inconsistency is not the real problem here. The real problem is that they treat social media like a hobby instead of a business tool. They still haven't embraced its full power, or think they need Hollywood level production or a huge following to see success. They'll spend weeks overthinking their content, tweaking their setup, stressing about perfection, instead of just hitting that red record button for video content, or even trying to type written content so it can start capturing the most important currency in business right now, which is attention. And attention is leverage. In reality, you don't need thousands of followers. You need highly targeted visibility systems that turn cold contacts into conversations, and those conversations into connections, those connections that convert into customers, and hopefully eventually into raving fan clients. So if you're not leveraging social media the right way, you're doing what 90% of loan officers are doing. They're working twice as hard for half the results. I've invested years testing every content strategy out there, and after funding over $1 billion in home loan production and working with some of the top performing loan officers in the industry right now, I know exactly what works and what doesn't. But before we go any further, I need you to write this down. I am not a loan officer, because if you still see yourself as another loan officer, you're already playing the game wrong. A loan officer chases transactions. They show up when there's a deal on the table, follow up when something's needed or they need something, and then they disappear again after the transaction is done. But a modern loan advisor, they create forever flow. A modern loan advisor is seen before and after they're needed. They're a trusted authority in their marketplace. They educate, inform, and build trust before the prospect is even ready to buy, sell, or refinance, and continuously after that same prospect becomes a transacted customer. They show up when there's a transaction to be had or not to be had, earning the right to be considered an advisor, not a loan officer. And when that prospect is finally ready to use you for the first time or repeatably, there's less competition. They already know, like, trust, and hopefully love you. You've won every point of thought, which will help you win more points of sale. Instead of labeling it as just a mindset shift, think of it as a business shift, because you are now changing your business strategy from chasing to attracting. Here's the exact formula you need to make this happen. I call it the BAR formula, BAR, for belief, action, and results. First, you have to believe that you are more than just a salesperson pushing loans. You are a financial guide and an educator, a true long-term minded, trusted advisor. If you don't see yourself this way, nobody else will. And frankly, everything I share with you today on modern marketing will not work. Then comes an action, because belief alone doesn't pay the bills. The loan officers who are winning in this market right now are the ones building their personal brand one boring brick at a time by putting out strategic content daily that positions themselves as the relatable go-to mortgage expert for their target audience. And when you combine the right belief with the right action for a long period of time, you get results. Inbound quality leads and connections that have a preconceived value towards you. So let's dive into this 5-step simple content system that we use that's helping our content convert people into deals. Step number 1, of course, is content. You post high-value content that speaks directly to your target audience's needs. Not some random post, not selfies, but content that positions you as the go-to expert. Step number 2 is context. Your content must tie into current market conditions, common misconceptions, and questions your target audience is already asking themselves. That's why we leverage hot topics, news, and questions that buyers and agents and sellers are already curious about. Step 3 is conversations. This is where 90% of loan officers fail. They post quality content consistently, and then they ghost. The old post and ghost. They think content alone will bring them deals, but the content just opens the door. You have to engage by replying to the comments that people leave for you thoughtfully. You have to private message those people that engage your content to start real conversations, which leads to step number 4. It's connections. Great conversations lead to connections with these high-value prospects like real estate agents, financial advisors, and even direct consumers by moving them into the DMs, the direct messages, and then into one-to-many masterclasses or an actual one-to-one meeting, both either online or offline, where you can build more rapport, conduct a discovery analysis, and then ask for the business, which is step 5, conversion. Now, when that new connection finally needs a mortgage expert, who do you think they're going to think of first? It's you. Why? Because you've already been educating, engaging, and continuously adding value before and after they needed your service. Now, once you understand this framework of this system, I want to get a little more tactical, because you should be asking at this point, well, what should I be posting? There are dozens of different types of content you can post, but most of them really don't move the needle. And that's why you have my permission to ignore all of that. Here are the 3 types of content that we have found are the easiest and most effective to get you going. Number 1 is B-roll videos with on-screen text. This is one of the easiest and highest performing types of content you can create right now. You don't even have to speak. You just film a simple looped clip video of yourself doing something natural, walking down the street, drinking coffee at your kitchen countertop, working at your desk, and then you overlay it with text. Here's why it works so well. There's actually psychology behind it. It taps into something called dual coding theory, which simply means people remember things when they see both visuals and words at the same time. And because the footage feels natural and candid, your audience lets their guard down. It's familiar, it's real, which makes your message easier to connect with and harder to forget. So here's the key. It's not about what you're doing in the video. It's really about what your text is saying. That's where the value is. So use 3 to 5 short, punchy lines of text to drop insight, tips, or ideas, and that's what makes people stop scrolling and start listening. The text should be something scroll stopping like 3 mortgage mistakes that could cost you thousands. Why home prices aren't dropping anytime soon. The one home loan program 90% of buyers overlook. You can see it forces people to stop and read. The average person scrolls through social media at lightning speed. These videos interrupt that pattern and get your message across instantly and creatively without them even needing to turn the sound on. The second type of content is green screen explainers. You might have seen these. This is where you take a trending news article and break it down in simple English. Every day, there's a new headline about mortgage rates, home affordability, or even the housing market in general. The cool thing about our industry is we're always in the news. Most people don't fully understand what a lot of those news headlines mean, or they're improperly communicated. And that's where you come in. You pull up the article on your phone or desktop, use the Instagram or TikTok green screen effect, and position yourself in front of it while explaining what's actually happening. This turns you into the expert people look to for clarity. For example, if a major news announces Fed signals rate cuts coming, most people have no idea what that actually means. So you hit record and say, you've probably seen this headline, but here's what it really means for home buyers over the next 6 months. Now, instead of just posting content for the sake of posting, you're actually providing value in understandable terms. You're giving people mashed potatoes for their baby teeth. And when people associate you with that type of value, they feel a lot more comfortable to come to you when they actually need your services. So now you're starting to see, hopefully, how simple this actually is, and we're just getting started. So if you want to see additional ways I help loan officers build quality connections at scale, generate leads through structured sales conversations, and scale mortgage businesses, tap the subscribe button below, and I share it all for you for free $99. And finally, the third type of easy content is reaction videos. This is hands down one of the easiest ways to boost your views and engagement, especially if you're short on time or ideas. Here's what reaction videos are and why they work. You're tapping into content that's already trending. So instead of creating something from scratch and hoping people care, you're piggybacking on someone else's content that's already getting a lot of attention. And then you're adding your expert take. So how do you do it? First, I want you to start bookmarking short, popular clips related to real estate, finance, home ownership, mortgage myths, finance myths, something your audience would naturally be watching. And then hit record and react to it. Break it down, add context, correct misinformation, or simply say, here's why I don't agree with this, or here's what it really means for you if you're a first-time home buyer or home seller. You're not competing for attention, you're just inserting yourself into the conversations people are already having and positioning yourself as a trusted voice in the room. You can always consider your first reaction video to be something on Dave Ramsey, right? He puts a lot of stuff out that's easily layups for you to comment on. Now, after watching all this, you should hopefully feel a little more confident, have a better idea how to generate more inbound leads and quality connections a day, but just knowing isn't enough. A lot of you watching this, you have the ability. I want you to get the visibility. So if you want to learn even more about this exact content to close system, I put together a free training bundle that shows you exactly how to do it in a more in-depth process. This system is proven, the results are real, and the only thing standing between you and a predictable big pipeline of inbound leads and quality connections is execution. I want you to tap the link on the screen or in the description below, and you can get access to everything for free right away. Let's go.